KPM.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats high over vales and hills. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Besides the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze.
Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle in the Milky Way. They stretch in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their hair in sprightly dance.
Wow!
Hi, teacher!
Lisa, do you also know the poem?
Well, I do know about the poem that we just recited together just now. Well, I continued from the stanza that you recited. Well, I think I want to know a little bit more about this poem, teacher.
Well, then you are in for a treat, because I'm sure that all the other students are also waiting to learn about this poem.
I cannot wait. Let's go to the class now.
Let's go, Nisa.
Assalamualaikum. Hi everybody. You are watching Didik TV KPM. My name is Nisa K and I will be with you guys for this precious hour. But before that, with the ease of restrictions nowadays, I hope we do not take things lightly. We must always follow and abide the rules. Number 1, to always wear face mask wherever you are. Number 2, to always maintain physical distance at least 1 meter, or if you are able to, or more. And number 3, always or regularly wash your hands using water and soap, and use hand sanitizer when needed. So let's welcome our teacher for today's lesson. We are going to learn together English literature for the upper secondary. We have teacher Nurul Hanin from SMK Convent Ipoh Perak. Hi teacher.
Hi, Nisa.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much.
I'm so excited for today's lesson because we're going to learn one of my favorite subjects, which is English literature. And what will be our topic for today?
So today we are going to learn about daffodils.
Daffodils? Are we going to the flower farm?
No, we're going to go into the poetry form written by William Woodsworth.
So exciting. But before that, I am not alone here, teacher.
Yes.
I have friends also from SMK Convent Ipoh. So let's welcome our pupils from SMK Convent Ipoh. Hi, everybody. Hello. How are you guys doing? Beautiful girls we have here today. So let's get them introduce themselves. We will start with Esther. Kindly introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Esther Chong, but you can call me Esther. I'm from Foros.
Thank you, Esther. Next, we have Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hello everyone. My name is Michelle George, but you guys can call me Michelle.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Christy. Kindly introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Christila and I'm from Foros from SMK Convent Ipoh.
Thank you. Next, we have Putri Rania. Hi.
Hi everyone, my name is Puteri Rania Zara, but you guys can call me Puteri.
Hi, Putri or Princess. Can I call you Princess? Okay, next we have Marsha. Marsha, hi.
Hello everyone, my name is Marsha Nabila and you guys can call me Marsha.
Thank you so much. Last but not least, teacher, we have Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany.
Hello everyone, my name is Tiffany Yap and you can call me Tiffany.
All right. So our pupils at home, are you guys all ready? If you guys are ready, can you give me double thumbs up? Like this. Yes, they are all ready. So, teacher, we will be learning a little bit more about daffodils, the flowers or the poem that we just recited just now.
Well, we are going to learn about the poem. Okay? But before that, we need to understand about our lessons more. We need to know where is our objective for today. So let's look at the learning standards that we are going to look at throughout the lessons today. So the first one is we need to recognize and identify the form and structure of the poem. So this is important. And the second one, we are going to examine and explain the effects of language and style in the poem. And the third one, we need to identify, we need to analyze and explain poetic devices that the poet uses to achieve effects in the poem. So whenever we read, whenever we look into it, students, we need to know, why am I learning this? What does this word do? What is the impact that the poet wanted to convey, the message that the poet wanted to convey inside the poem? And then, of course, we will look at the learning outcomes. So that is what we're going to look at into the lesson. As a student, what are you going to get? Okay? So by the end of the lesson, pupils should be able to, number one, identify words as well as poetic devices that gives meanings to the poem. Explain how words and two poetic devices have been used to make the poem memorable. And the last one, explore the use of words and images that creates a striking effect in the poem.
Interesting. So, pupils, we have a mission today. We need to achieve all the learning outcomes lined by teacher today. And I would like to give a little bit more time for our friends at home to be ready. And I think they will need a book, they will need their notebook, their pen, their pencil, everything you need. And we are going to take a break. I'll see you guys after this in Didik TV KPM.
Didik TV KPM. Didik TV KPM.
Welcome back, friends, to Didik TV KPM. For the upper secondary slot, we are going to learn English literature, and our topic for today is the poem Daffodils. So interesting. Our friends here from SMK Convent Ipoh, they are all ready. Teacher Hanin, are you ready?
I'm ready, Nisa.
Definitely, I'm ready. But before that, I would like to invite you to sanitize your hand, and we are going to do it together.
Yes.
As I have a pocket-sized sanitizer here with me. So it's very convenient to bring
It's
a pocket
true.
size nowadays. And our friends at home, they are all ready with their pens, pencils and notes. Let's proceed. Teacher Hanin, over to you.
Thank you, Nisa. Okay, so students, we are going to learn about a poem called Daffodils by Wordsworth. Now, this poem is one of the 10 poems that we need to learn inside our textbook,
Okay.
Poems Then and Now. Okay, so before we proceed, let's look at this daffodils. Now, as you can see, this is the flower, daffodils. It's not a common flower in Malaysia. It is a very common flower in Europe.
Yes.
It is the national flower of Wales. And you can find it in the northern hemisphere. Therefore, it is the characteristic of the flower is the golden hue of the petals. All right, now let's look at this. So, before I go on furthermore, Nisa, let's look at what will we learn today.
Okay.
So, the first one, we're going to look at the background of the whole text. We're looking at the background of the poet. We're looking at the background of the poem itself, because we need to understand the poet too, because we need to understand what he has gone through, what kind of experience that he has gone through, in the sense that was it a tragedy, was it happiness? And this is important because whatever goes through in your life, that becomes the muse the inspiration of writers to write. Then we will go to our poem. And here we are going to analyze the poem one by one. And then after that, we're going to go into the third one, which is the exercise. Right. So, are you ready, Nisa?
I'm so ready.
Okay, let's go. So first of all, let's find out more about the writer, the poet himself. So his name is William Wordsworth, and he was born on the 7th April 1770. And he died on the 23rd April 1850, a long time ago. And this is what has happened to him. Okay, so there is the man himself. So what do we need to know more about this man? First of all, he was orphaned at the age of 15. Then he was the second of 5 children, but he was left to live with different relatives. So can you imagine, Nisa?
It must be very sad for him.
Yes, you've lost your parents and then you have to be separated from your siblings. So there is an element of alone and loneliness there. And then he married. Wonderful. That is such a happy reunion. He had 5 children, but tragedy strikes. 2 of his children died young.
No.
So again, the mourning feeling inside of him. And then the last one, his younger sister, Dorothy Wordsworth, who herself is a renowned poet. But she suffered from mental illness. So as you can see, tragedy upon tragedy upon tragedy happened to him. Yes. So once we understand this, as students, you can put yourself inside his shoe. How does he feel? And this is important because we need to have empathy when we read the poem. And then, let's go into the poem itself. So the poem is called Daffodils and it's written in 1807. So this is a 214 years old poem. And then, we need to understand what is the inspiration behind it. So the inspiration behind the poem Daffodils is that it was inspired by a walk that he took with his sister Dorothy around Glencorn Bay, which is in Ullswater in the Lake District. So that's how you find elements of water later in the poem. It consists of 4 stanzas of 6 lines, which in literature we call it as the sestet. Of iambic tetrameter. So iambic goes, it is the flow, the pronunciation of low and high. And then tetrameter is based on the rhythm of the meter. And the next one, the rhyme scheme, is the end rhyme scheme is A, B, A, B, C, C. We will look through this. People might be wondering, what is this A, B, A, B, C, C? We will look through this in our analysis later. But most of all, the poem as an overall idea, it talks about the power of nature in healing weary souls. Okay, next one. Okay, so let's look at the full poem. So this is the full poem of Daffodils, 4 stanzas. Okay, so students can see it. Our students at home can also see it. Every single one of the stanzas is here. Each one of them has 6 lines. So it's a sestet. All right? And then, before we go into more towards our poem, we want to know what is the poem about. So let's look at the synopsis. So because we have 4 stanzas, we want to go one by one. What is the story about? So stanza 1, the speaker was walking and saw a lonely cloud in the sky, signifying his loneliness. So when he saw the cloud, he feels as if, oh, that is me. It's alone. I am also feeling lonely. Then he saw a field of daffodils that was so beautiful, it captivated him. So he was amazed by the beauty of the flowers. In stanza 2, the continuity of the story, the speaker emphasized on the huge number of daffodils that stretch further than the eyes can see. The golden color also represents them as stars in the Milky Way. And this is important because when we look into this, remember that he was feeling lonely. And then there is, when you are at night, during a night time, it's very dark.
Yes.
So where does the light come from?
The stars, the moon.
Exactly. So the stars, he represented the daffodils as stars that brings light in darkness. And in himself, he feels lonely. So the flowers brings brightness towards his dark life.
That's beautiful.
And the third one is stanza 3. And in stanza 3, the daffodils looked like waves dancing in the wind. So he's giving more characteristics, more beauty of the flowers when he saw them in Lake District. And then, how did he feel? That weariness, that loneliness was replaced by joy and happiness when he was accompanied by these beautiful flowers. And the last stanza, which is the ending of the story, the closure of the whole story. So he feels, here he's talking about the effect of seeing the daffodils lived on within the speaker. So it's not just when he was in Lake District, surrounded by the beautiful golden flowers, but it was also when he has returned home. That feeling stayed with him. And so, whenever he feels down, whenever he remembers the beautiful daffodils, he will feel uplifted and he will feel happy again. So that is the poem, what the poem is about.
I can actually imagine how beautiful the daffodil flower feel, like this one.
Yes, that is true. Now, since we know the whole synopsis already, we need to look at analyzing the poem. So first of all, let's look at how to analyze a poem. Now, Nisa, I like to ask our friends, our students who's waiting. Christy, how do we analyze a poem?
Christy?
Teacher, I think one of the important elements that we need to look at is poetic devices. For example, metaphor, personification, and also hyperbole.
Fantastic. That is a 5-star answer there.
Well done, Christy.
Yes, it is. One of the elements that we have to look at is poetic devices. Can I have one more, Tiffany?
Sure, Tiffany.
So another important element to look at is form and structure, such as lines, stanzas, and rhymes.
Form and structure.
Very good. Exactly. Another 5-star answer there. So now let's look at how to analyze a poem. We're going to recap back what they have said. So the first one is on form and structure. So we're going to look at lines of the poem, inside the poem, the stanza, and the end rhyme. A, B, A, B, C, C. This is the mysterious thing about A, B, A, B, C, C. What is this about? Then we're going to look at the poetic devices, right? The metaphor, the simile, the personification, the hyperbole, and the alliteration. And then next one, we have the language, which is the types of diction used in the poem. And the last one is on theme, which is the overall idea or the overall message that is trying to be conveyed inside the poem. All right. So, are you ready?
Pupils, are you ready?
Students, are you ready?
If you're ready, give me double thumbs up. Okay.
Okay,
let's start.
Let's analyze the poem. Okay, so this is the first stanza. Now, the first stanza, if you look at this is what we mean by A, B, A, B, C, C. So I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils. Besides the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. So you can see that this is the A, B, A, B, C, C pattern. What does it mean by A, B, A, B? The and sound. So this is cloud. So the next sound is hills. It's a different pattern, so it becomes a B. Crowd has the same sound as cloud. So it becomes an A pattern. Then you have the Daffodils. Daffodils. It has the same pattern as the
Hills.
second line. And then we have the ending of trees. And the last one, breeze. So it has the same pattern. So this is A, B, C, C. And we want to see whether this is continuous throughout the whole 4 stanza. Okay, now that we looked at this, let's look at the poetic devices.
Okay.
So here we have simile. Now, before I go on with the simile, may I ask, Nisa?
Yes.
I'd like to ask one of our friends on stage.
Sure.
Okay, Masha, what is a simile?
Yes, teacher. Okay. Simile is a comparison between two usually unrelated things by using the word like or as.
Fantastic. You compare things, unrelated things, using the word like or as. So here we still have the word as. I wandered lonely as cloud. I am as a cloud, but you compare it using the word as. So he compares. What does this mean? So what it means is he is comparing his feeling of loneliness to the cloud aiming aimlessly. So that is why he uses a simile. This is one of the poetic devices found. And another one is personification. So personification. Maybe I can have Putri.
Putri?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so what is personification?
Personification means it is to give human qualities to non-humans to describe their actions and characteristics.
Fantastic.
Qualities to non-human.
Yes, to non-human things. Another 5-star. Fantastic, darling. Excellent. So that is a personification. We're giving human qualities to non-human qualities. And this can be seen when Woodsworth write a host of golden daffodils. Because the word host is related to human beings. As a host.
Yes.
So you are the one who's leading. So this is a human occupation in a way, okay? Next one is the word fluttering. Because fluttering is a movement. Daffodils are, in reality, scientifically, stagnant. It's just sitting there planted on the ground. But here, because of its movement, it looks as if it's fluttering. And then you have dancing in the breeze. So flowers, because of its beautiful movements, according to the rhythm of the wind, therefore it is dancing in the breeze. Okay.
Teacher Hanin, we can see that all of our friends here, they have done a very good job answering questions, and I believe our friends at home, they're all answering the answers correctly. But before that, let's take a break. I'll see you guys after this in Didik TV KPM.
Didik TV KPM. Didik TV KPM.
Welcome back to Didik TV KPM. We are now learning about Daffodils, a poem by William Woodsworth, and we have gone through this first stanza. So let's proceed with our lesson. Teacher Hanin, students, are you okay? Give me double thumbs up. Everybody are all on top of their game. Okay, let's proceed.
Okay, let's go. All right, so looking back at the first stanza, we've already gone through the daffodils.
Yes.
Now let's look at the second stanza. So this is the second stanza. Again, it has the same end rhyme as we can see. Okay, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle in the Milky Way. They stretch in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their hair in sprightly dance. Again, we're looking at the sound.
Shine,
Way, line, bay,
glance,
exactly, and dance. So again, the same rhyme scheme at the end. A, B, C, C. Okay, now, when we look at that, we also want to look at again the poetic devices, because the bread and butter of poetry is the poetic devices. So here we're looking at simile again. And here we see the words continuous as the stars. Now the word continuous is actually relating, because this is already stanza 2. So the subject is from stanza 1. So we're talking about the daffodils. So this is an omit subject here. So the daffodils continuous as the stars. So we still consider this as a simile. And of course, because of the word as. So the daffodils are compared to the stars, like I have mentioned before, because of the golden color, right? And then we're looking at the personification. Now, before I go into the personification, let's look at this again. This is very much related to the Milky Way. Okay, so the darkness in his life, that is shined by the daffodils. Okay, next one, we're going to look at the personification, tossing their hair in sprightly dance. Because when you're moving, the bulbs is like the petals are moving, so it's tossing their hair in sprightly dance. And then we will have the hyperbole. Now, hyperbole, this is a very new thing. Okay, can I have one of the students to tell me what is a hyperbole? Esther?
Esther?
Yes, teacher. Hyperbole is when we use exaggerating words or phrases to describe something.
Exactly. Very good.
Thank you so much, Esther.
Thank you, Esther.
Exaggerating.
Yes, so it's an exaggerated opinion. And this is an exaggeration. 10,000 saw I. Okay? So pretty much he's here saying that 10,000 saw I at a glance. What is this trying to say? This is trying to say that there is so much of those flowers surrounding him. It's not exactly 10,000. He's not going to count every single one of them, but it's just an expression. Okay, so that is what we call a hyperbole.
To indicate that many flowers.
Yes, exactly. So this is also what it looks like, pretty much like the Milky Way, how the sun, the stars shine in the galaxy. Now, let's go to the third stanza.
Stanza 3.
So again, third stanza, we've done this exercise before, right? The end rhyme, A, A, B, B, C, C. So we're looking at the end of each line. The waves beside them dance, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me has brought. So you have the word they, glee, gay, company, thought, and brought. Okay. So, again, simile. Oh, sorry. Okay, personification here. All right. Here we're looking at the waves besides them dance. So this is giving the waves a dancing characteristic. And then outdid the sparkling waves in glee, which means they outdid the sparkling waves, pretty much the waves, but in a feeling of glee. So this is giving human characteristic because, as you know, flowers cannot feel.
Yes.
But here we're giving that beautiful feeling of human emotions as if they are being happy during that time. Okay. And then in stanza 3, this is a new thing, diction. We're looking at the words gay. We're looking at the words jocund. We're looking at the words
wealth.
Okay? All right.
Excuse me, Miss Hanin.
Yes, Michelle.
Yeah, I have a question. What does diction mean?
Very good. What does diction means? Because it's a relatively new term for students, okay? Diction is a simple term. It means words, choices of words. So we want to know, when we analyze the poem, why did he choose this kind of words to express himself? There must be a reason. Remember, a writer, a poet, a playwright never writes words lackadaisically, just write it just like that without any purpose. So we want to see what is the purpose for this. So here we means, okay, these are some words that maybe students are not familiar with. So the word gay means the traditional old word means happy. Yep. Next one is jocund, which means cheerful, light-hearted. So it's a jocund company, cheerful, light-hearted company. And wealth here does not mean money.
Money. Not that. Okay, not that one.
But here it means, remember, happiness.
Happiness, the emotions.
Emotions, rich in happiness, rich in emotions. Because remember, you need to feel satisfied with life, and happiness gives that. And then, so this is how it looks like in stanza 3, when the speaker was surrounded with, in the field where he was gazing very longingly.
Yeah, he imagine there's 10,000 daffodils there.
Yes. And the last one. Now this is stanza 4, which means the end. So,
Teacher,
yes?
I can see that the highlighted words or letters is quite a little bit different from what we have learned for the past 3 stanzas.
Exactly, because everybody knows technically the same rhyme is going to be there. Okay, so this is actually a little bit of exercise for you to see why I didn't highlight it, because we know by now to look at the end pattern. For off, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. So again, and rhyme. Lie. Mood. I. Solitude.
Feels.
And daffodils. Exactly. So it's the same sound.
A, B, C, C.
Yep. A, B, C, C. Okay. So let's look at here we have metaphor. Now before this we learned simile is a comparison between two unrelated things, but when you want to compare it inside the line itself, you use the word like or as. So what is a metaphor? It's similar but without like or as. So that's why it says inward eye. We can't find the word like or as. But inward eye is a comparison to something. And here it means it's a comparison to the context of memory. Why? Because in stanza 4, the speaker is no longer in Lake District. He's at home.
He's gone back home.
He's gone back home. So this is recalling what happened during that time. Okay, so what happened during that amazing vacation that I had in Lake District? So this is recalling back into it using his memory. And then you have, this is the one, alliteration.
Alliteration.
Alliteration is the repetition of the consonant sound. So here we see S. The sound of S, pensive, bliss, solitude, pleasure feels. The sound is light and springy. Okay, and then you have the D sound. But here the D sound is pretty much emphasizing dances, daffodils. But it's not a very robust sound. So here, when you are analyzing students, you have to see the sound is light, therefore the mood is light. And when the mood is light, we want to relate it back what happens here. Here he is feeling happiness again. So relate it back to the way that Woodsworth uses his technique of alliteration is to bring back the readers towards the feeling of light feeling.
Even though we're not there anymore.
Even though we're not there anymore. Exactly. Right. And then you have diction. Okay. Here, this is a very very different kind of words that is used. We have vacant, we have pensive, we have bliss, we have pleasure. Vacant means empty, pensive means reflecting deep or serious thought. Okay? So it's a bit of a negative thing. But then we have bliss, great joy, and the pleasure, which means happy satisfaction. Okay. All right.
So we have gone through some of the poetic devices where we learn about simile, personification, we have hyperbole, and diction, metaphor, and alliteration. So do you guys have any question? Anyone wants to ask anything? Okay, Christy.
We have. Yes, Christy.
So, teacher, as you said, that Wordsworth uses positive and also negative words in stanza 4. Like, for example, he uses the word pensive, vacant and also solitude and pleasure. So why did Woodsworth uses that word?
Thank you so much, Christy, for the question. We can see that the words represents two different type of mood or feelings.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Yes, and Christy, very well done for noticing that. Okay, the negative feeling is because if we relate it back to the beginning of stanza 1, okay? So when you are actually analyzing this poem and even when you're writing your analysis in your SPM, this is what we're looking for. When students are able to relate that, oh, at the very end, he's contrasting negative and positive words. So the negative words resembles the beginning of when he felt lonely. But then at the end, pleasure feels and at the same time dances with the daffodils, so he has the feeling of pleasure. The positive words comes back.
He's satisfied.
Yes, so what he's also emphasizing here is the power of the daffodils,
That's
of
interesting.
healing his loneliness.
We always use nature to heal ourselves. We can see the trend now when we are now able to go outside, we go to the nature.
Yes.
We go to the beaches, we go to the farm, we go to the flower fields and so many other places.
Exactly. So, before this, just for the next one, okay, so we've already analyzed everything, right? So here, this is the last stanza. So he's contemplating with his memories. Okay, so this is at home, yeah? So we can see the different settings there.
Yes.
Stanza 1, 2, 3.
He's no longer at the Daffodils Lake District.
Yes, he's no longer at Lake District. And the final one, he's at home. All right. So, next one. Before we go into this, I like to talk about, when we have learned all of this poem, we are going to look at the overall theme.
Before we go to the overall theme that will be shared by Teacher Hanin, after this, let's take a break, everybody. Promise me you won't go anywhere. I'll see you guys after this in Didik TV KPM.
Didik TV KPM. Didik TV KPM.
Welcome back to Didik TV KPM, and as promised, Teacher Hanin will bring us through the theme of the whole poem, Daffodils.
Thank you, Nisa. So, we are already going towards the theme of the poem. Now, before we go into the theme, I just like to know, because students have already read, we have gone through all this poem.
Yes.
So, I like to ask whether the students are able to maybe guess what is the overall idea about. So, maybe can I have Tiffany?
Tiffany, can you tell the main idea of this poem?
Yeah, all right, teacher. So one of the themes is the beauty of nature.
Very good. Yes. So that is important. Exactly. Well done, dear. So one of the theme is on the
beauty
of nature. Okay, so let's go towards the themes. Exactly. The first one is on beauty of nature. Why? Because when we learn about something that is fully on the beauty of the flowers, which is the flowers is a part of nature, therefore we have to look at it as characteristic. Now, this is one of the things that students sometimes get it wrong. They feel as if, oh, it's just about the characteristic of the flower. How can that become a theme? It is a theme.
Flower.
Yes, because when we read the whole poem, there were so many characteristics about the daffodils, and therefore it is his in a way that his expression of the beauty of the daffodils, and that is an idea. It's the beauty of nature and how the daffodils are portrayed, because it is something, the way that it is portrayed shows that daffodils is beneficial, nature is beneficial, and has the power to soothe a human's mind and chaotic emotions. Because remember, the speaker was going through so much tragedy,
Yes.
feel this heavy burden on his shoulder.
Horrible events in his life.
Yes, so when he saw the beauty of Mother Nature, somehow uplifts him.
He feel calm, satisfied, happy.
Exactly. And the next one is on happiness and loneliness. So here this is the contradicting ideas. Okay, happiness and loneliness is part and parcel of a human life. I'm sure, Nisa, you have felt it. I have felt it. Students at home, you have felt
Teacher,
it.
we can always feel lonely even though we are in a crowd.
Exactly. But we've gone through this. So this is something that we need to understand is natural.
Yes.
Yeah. But don't let ourselves just be alone and lonely in our loneliness for
Don't
so
let
long.
yourself consumed
Yes.
by all these emotions.
True. And these two emotions is shown in the poem because to contrast and to show that as a people, we go through the ups and downs of life. And whenever we go up, we have to go down. Whenever we feel down, we have to uplift ourselves back up. So it's possible. It's not something that is static or permanent.
Yes. And whatever happens in your life, we need to bounce back.
Exactly, Nisa. Next one is...
Oh no! Okay, I'm going back now. Okay, we need to do the exercise together.
Yes. It's very important. Do your homework, kids. Don't forget. Okay, so the exercise for today, this is the question. How does Wordsworth convey nature's ability to comfort one in times of loneliness? Now, as you can see, this is a 15 marks question.
Yeah, that's quite a lot, teacher.
It is a lot. And this is actually based on an SPM format question. Okay, so here, how are we going to unpack it? When we have students, do not forget, read the questions carefully. Underline, take out that highlighter, whatever you want to use, yellow, blue, orange, red, pink, and highlight the important words. So here, how does Wordsworth convey nature's ability? Okay, to comfort one in times of loneliness. So this is something that we have to look at. Maybe we can give around 30 seconds to the students or for a few seconds.
Definitely we can.
All right.
So I hope you guys are already with the answer. How does Wordsworth convey nature's ability to comfort one in times of loneliness? If you ask me, do you want to ask me?
Yes.
If you
I was
ask
just about
me,
to ask you.
Okay, how nature comfort if I feeling lonely? I think it's just very soothing. The feelings that we can feel from the Daffodils, the poem itself. It's very soothing when I go to the beach or I go to the river. Just listen to the sound of the nature. It will uplift the feeling. I will feel very calm and I'm ready for tomorrow. Like that.
Exactly. That is very important. Yes. Whenever we feel down, sometimes I just watch even the clouds going out. Just open the window and look at the sky.
The blue sky, everything around us. Okay, I think we have given them enough time to answer. And who would like to answer? Do you want to call?
So maybe we can have Michelle.
Okay, Michelle, we would like to hear your answer on this question.
Okay, so the way I assume is that the poet talks about how the daffodils sparkle beside the water. So we can assume that the beauty of the daffodils reflected on the water really outshines all of the natural elements. And it makes the poet feel happy and amazed by the beauty of the daffodils.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Michelle. How do you score the answer?
Yes. What she is referring to, I think, is at stanza 3. All right. Now, that is a very good point. The fact that when we look at the stanza 3, where they were sitting at, maybe let's look at stanza 3. We have it here, I think. Yes. So she was referring to the waves beside them.
Okay.
Dance and outdid the sparkling waves in glee. So this is a very important thing because it talks about the reflection of the daffodils beside the river. However, the daffodils was outsparkling the beautiful river. So here, he is actually amplifying on the power of the flower itself. All right?
Compared to the river.
Yes. And how it heals him. So this is actually a good point. But do not forget, when you're writing in your essay, always refer to the evidence. Don't forget to put the evidence inside the
You have to
essay.
justify the answer.
Yes.
Okay. I believe we have a lot of fun learning about daffodils, but we are now at the end of our class, Teacher Hanin. I would like to ask you for the conclusion to what we have learned so far today.
So today, students, we have learned about the poem Daffodils, one of the 10 poems that we need to learn inside our syllabus. And this daffodil is just a very simple poem of 4 stanzas, 6 lines by Woodsworth on the power of nature in healing weary souls.
Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Nurul Hanin. Thank you once again, Teacher Nurul Hanin, Ketua Panitia Kesusteraan Inggeris from SMK Convent Ipoh Perak. And thank you so much, pupils from SMK Convent Ipoh. Teacher, our friends at home might need a little bit more of exercises, maybe learning materials. Where can they get this?
Thank you, Nisa. That is very important. Okay, to everybody out there, to the students, to the teachers, my fellow teachers, please do not forget to look at and browse through Sumberku at the KPM portal.
Okay, don't forget to go to the link appear on your TV screen. Once again, thank you so much, Teacher Hanin. Thank you so much, fellow pupils from SMK Convent Ipoh. And thank you for those who are watching us at home. We are going to end this episode with a special recitation from Teacher Hanin of Daffodils. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.
So, Daffodils, 1807. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the trees, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle in the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their hair in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and
Didik TV KPM